Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dork Side. I'm the Dork in the Road and today we're going to talk about the easiest, most inexpensive way that I know to make your dual sport motorcycle seat a lot more comfortable. That's right everyone, I'm the Dork in the Road and I want to be your internet riding buddy. So please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on those notifications so that you know when I post awesome new dual sport and adventure motorcycling content just like this. So probably the most frequent question that I get on my videos is, what is with that seat pad on your motorcycle? Do you like your seat cover? What is that seat cover? How does it work? I've mentioned it sort of as part of my top 10 CRF 250L mods video, but I haven't really talked about it specifically. This is not a purpose-built, designed for dual sport motorcycling seat cover. It's the Mad Dog Gear Comfort Ride Seat Protector. It's actually made for ATVs by Coleman, the company that makes camping gear, basically all the camping gear in the world as far as I can tell. So it's designed for ATV seats, but I've adapted it to make it work really, really well here on the CRF 250L. The seat pad right now will set you back $17 on Amazon. They're usually $20 basically everywhere. If you know that you have a dual sport seat that is not comfortable and you want to improve it, but you're not quite ready to spend the money, the $180, $200 for a seat concept seat or something like that, this is a really good sort of half measure, and if you end up not liking it, you're only out 20 bucks, no big deal. So I think this is probably the cheapest way to get the most bang for your buck in terms of a seat improvement on a dual sport bike. Those of you that ride dual sport bikes know that the seats are not comfortable. They tend to feel like a 2x4 piece of plywood, at least in my experience. And this thing, while again is not as good as the seat concept seat, has made a massive difference and has made all-day riding far more comfortable for me on this bike. And I don't feel like I've given up any ability to ride off-road, stand up, maneuver the bike on technical terrain or anything like that. You're just here because you want to know how to quickly and cheaply improve the comfort of your dual sport seat. Go and buy yourself one of these Mad Dog Gear comfort seat covers. They actually sell them at Walmart too, but I'll put a link in the description. This isn't the softest padding on earth, but it definitely is cushy, and it hasn't like squished down or broken in at all as far as I can tell. And really the huge advantage of this is, you can't probably tell from this angle, but it makes my seat probably an inch or 2 inches wider, which spreads out my weight a little bit more on my butt cheeks, and that reduces the amount of wear. It just makes the seat a lot more comfortable. I have nothing but good things to say about this. I've had this on the bike for, what, 2 years now, and it's never bothered me one time. The only thing that kind of sucks about it is, to this point, is that it's a little bit sun faded. It looks a little purple in the sunlight, but I didn't buy it for looks. I bought it to make my butt more comfortable, and it has definitely succeeded at that. So that's my sort of review. Like, if you're like, what can I do to make my dual sport seat more comfortable? Buy one of these and put it on. Go. There's a link in the description. That's all you need. But I also get asked a lot about how I mounted it. Nothing super innovative here, but I will show you how I've attached this to the seat so you can get an idea. I would imagine that it will work with basically any dual sport or even a dirt bike seat in a similar way. It's not purpose made for it, but with a little bit of tweaking. I'm going to pull this off and show you how I mounted it on here. It doesn't cover the whole seat, but it doesn't need to. You just need to cover the part that you sit on. My neighbor's pulling up on his Harley. That's what you're hearing. They're loud, it turns out. The rumors are true. Harleys are loud. If you're doing this on a CRF 250L, you're going to have Allen keys here holding your seat down. I stripped mine out when I put this rack on, so I replaced them with some actual bolts. These are such a pain in the ass to line back up, by the way. And you're probably asking yourself, why don't you just take the bags off? Well, I can't, because I mounted them under my rack. Because that's the only way to make them work with my rack, so they're more or less permanent. Unless I take the rack all the way off. I'm not planning to do right now. Ta-da! I should be able to take the seat off, theoretically. Yeah, okay. This thing is dirty, by the way. So, here's how I mounted it. This is the cover, okay? You see the cover? It's lovely. I might straighten this out since I have the opportunity. The cover has, this is ugly and dirty and I'm sorry. The cover has 6 buckles. Okay, so I just put the rear one right behind the hooks, and then there's this big plastic block, and I cross them over under it because these things have to be able to hook on, and so you got to make sure that you can get them underneath it. That's where it gets a little tricky putting it back on. And then I took the 2 sets of top straps and I just crossed them just below. This is the thing that has to hook on under your seat. This little tab goes right into this, so you don't want them on top of it. That's why I did the crisscross, so there wasn't one up here. But crisscross them just like this, and like I said, I think this will work with pretty much any dual sport seat that's about the same size. Mounting it is easy. You take your seat off, you put the straps on, you tighten them down as tight as you can. Try to center it, if you can. A little bit better than I did. And then the hardest part of this is getting the seat back on. So I'll give you a close look at that mounting so you can see it. And then hold it so you get a screenshot. But that's how I've mounted it. Now, the trick is, like I said, getting this thing hooked in here and getting the tab underneath the seat. That's why it was so hard to get it out. So getting it back on is the hardest part, I think. You can tell, because if it lifts up like this, you don't have it hooked on right. Side, that's the pain in the ass. Yeah, okay? Lining up the rear holes is the hardest, but see, I think it's in there. I mean, that's it. It's pretty simple. The hardest part is starting these rear bolts and getting them back in. But hopefully that's enough information for you to decide whether or not you want to get one of these for your own bike and to figure out how to mount it yourself. It's not rocket science. And there's obviously no official installation for a bike like this because the seat, it's not designed for a bike like this. You just kind of have to make it work and make sure you're not blocking any of the tabs or hooks that connect your seat to your bike because you want the seat to stay on the bike. So as long as you can pull up on it and it seems like it's not going anywhere, you've probably got it hooked all the way down. This is, I firmly believe, the cheapest, best way to make your seat more comfortable that I'm aware of for a dual sport or dirt bike. And I'd encourage you to give it a shot because if you don't like it, what the hell, you're only out 20 bucks. I hope that was helpful to those of you that have been curious. And for now, I just want to say thank you very much. And please, please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.
Excellent!
Okay, the way you can tell if it's tightening is, does it go in? Is it moving in? This was way too easy, you guys. This is gonna fly off of me the next time I'm riding down the highway because this was far too easy to reassemble.